What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Angie's World podcast. I am your girl, Angie, aka Angie's World. And as you can see, I am joined by the beautiful Lydia and my boy. I know you recognize Lydia from the Ladies VIP, and my boy, Kev Pryor. I know you recognize him from A-List.
I'm not beautiful.
Yo, I know you recognize Kev from the A-List. You know, he does the A-List After Dark with me. And thank you guys so much for being here. How are you? Lydia, you are tapping in tonight from the UK, London, correct?
Yes.
So it's late at night over where you're at. How have you been?
Listen, I have been busy AF. Like, it's been crazy because I've just been placed in a new position with work. It's been busy. I'm trying to grasp all the ropes and understand how they do things over there. It's very different to how I've done things before.
Right.
I've been busy with the gym, trying to get my waist snatched, my booty fat. You know how it goes.
That's what's up. So shout out to Lydia, my girl, the Greek goddess, checking in from the UK. I am so happy that you're here, and I can't wait to have this conversation. Kev Pryor, aka 950 Kev. What is popping?
Like I always say, Angie, ain't day above dirt. It's a great day, so it's a great day. It's the start of the weekend. I feel good. I feel strong. I feel I'm around two beautiful women. What else can I ask for? And it is what it is. I'm excited about the topic. Rap 15 always works.
That's what's up. Listen, guys, before we get into the conversation, everybody subscribe to the page, www.youtube.com/Angie's World. Subscribe to the channel, share the video, give it a like. It's free. That's how you could support. If you messing with the content that I'm doing, share it with a friend. You know what I'm saying? We got so much good feedback on everything that's going on in the channel. So share. Shout out to Twitter. Shout out to Facebook. Who else? Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever it is that you're tapping in from. Shout out to my online family. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And thank you for messing with the movement. So, guys, I wanted to have this podcast. We're going to get into some topics today, and then we're going to get into some hot topics. But I wanted to do this podcast because if you guys don't remember, myself and Lydia, we did a podcast called under the series The Ladies VIP, and we spoke about, is pretty privilege a thing? So Kev heard about that conversation, and he said, you know what, Angie, I got a lot to say about that. So I said, you know what, we're going to do a part 2, and we're going to invite Kev to the conversation. So now we're going to talk, we're going to unpack it, because you know what, Lydia, even when me and you were speaking about it, there was so much to unpack. We were like, we got to do a part 2.
Yeah. So
it made perfect sense for Kev to, join us into the conversation, because now we have a male's point of view. So yeah, let's get into it. Does pretty privilege exist? Part 2.
I mean, I think Kev should go first on this one, because I feel like he's got a lot more to unpack. So Kev, the floor is yours. The stage is yours, Kev.
I appreciate
What is your feelings on pretty privilege, Kev?
Well, obviously the world, as we having this conversation, we're in all different parts of the world. The world believes in beauty. The world admires beauty. Beauty is strength. Beauty can get you power, money, and gold. Anything you want. But there is a cutoff point. And we've seen that in different plays of the media. We've talked about the Black China thing. There's a cutoff point. The situation with the Kardashians and some of their aspects. It's a cutoff point. Pretty is a privilege, no doubt about it, but it doesn't mean that privilege continues and becomes a run-on sentence. There is a cutoff point that you're going to eventually have the privilege, but eventually going to have to put out some work.
We did say that pretty will get you in the door, but having some substance is going to keep you there. Remember we said that, Lydia?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, it'll get you through the door. It'll get you through the door. It'll get you within the apartment, through the building. It'll get you through the complex. But again, if it has a cutoff point, which I think sometimes, if we're talking about women, because pretty privilege can actually work both ways. But when we're talking about women, there
Handsome
is
privilege.
handsome privilege, right? But appeal. The money make you gorgeous, but there is an appeal when it comes to aesthetic, because that's what our world works. You watch the news, you read your magazines. It's all about aesthetic.
Right.
There's people who got a brain like a full of bag of rocks, but if they look the part, they can at least start the conversation. That's just in any world. Like you go out, or you in an interview. If you look the part, you dress smoothly, you shaved from a fellow's perspective, you look good, shoes is right, your hands are manicured, you're going to have an opportunity to get that conversation. If you don't look the part, doesn't mean you're not intelligent or not, accomplished enough to get the position. But it does take a moment for the mind and brain to interact, because we're conditioned to look at things we like.
So let me ask you a question, Kev. Do you think that pretty has a standard of aesthetics? Like, do you think, for instance, does pretty have a weight limit to it, in your opinion?
That's a great question.
Oof.
That's a great question. And you know what? You're talking to the right person, because I was just in a conversation with a colleague of mine prepping for 950. And it seems that from a psychology standpoint, most men like the waist size of a 0.7. Now that can mean a woman can still be heavy, but if her waist to leg to chest ratio is around a 0.7, it's appealing. And that 0.7 is somebody who has, that they have a proportion, nice up top. As Lydia says, she's trying to get it together in the back. But it fits the body size. Like you'll see some women where they're built like an ice box. That's probably not appealing. She needs to have a great personality. But from a standpoint, from a look, doesn't matter about weight. It's just that the proportions 0.7, chest, legs, the measurements. Then yeah, it's an appeal. Me personally, I don't have that hang up. My theory is that if it looks good, it looks good. Whether you're a little heavy, you're a little slimmer, you're light, dark, whatever your nationality is. If the bell rings in my head, we rocking. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And for me, it doesn't have I don't have a type per se.
Thank you. Okay. What about you, Lydia? Do you think that pretty has a certain size standard to it?
Yes. Straight. Yes, it does. It does. And the only reason that I say that is because based on my experiences and
hear your experience
and how I look. So
Right.
it's like I'm not no King K. If anything, I'm just the natural homegrown version, okay, from the roots, not from the theatre table,
Not from the needle, right?
not from the needle, not from the surgery table, like none of that. This is all homegrown, baby, homegrown. But but like in my experience and what I have seen, my appearance, my weight, my proportions, my Coca-Cola bottle, my figure eight has kind of opened a few more doors for me. And I've noticed even that when I go to clubs, like I don't queue, for example,
Right.
to get in. I like say hi,
Yeah.
smile, I get in very
Right.
quickly. Whereas I could have a friend who's a little bit more heavier
Plump.
than me, a little bit more plumper than me.
Right.
And if I wasn't there, would they let us in straight away?
Right. No, I mean, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And this is a perfect conversation, especially for me as well, because I've been every size from plus size to smaller than Lydia. I've been single digit sizes all the way to plus size. You know, I was heavy my whole life, and when I was about 27, I lost 98 pounds, and I was skinny for a long time. So I was able to experience life in different sizes. Although the way that my shape is, no matter what size I am, I'm particularly smaller on the top and bigger on the bottom. So I've heard people say what saves you is your shape. So no matter how big you get.
0.7. Exactly.
0.7, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right. But I'm saying, you know, people have said what saves you is your shape and all this kind of stuff. I don't know how I feel about that statement, but like Lydia is saying, I have experienced a difference in life when I was single digit sizes as opposed to plus size. Now, attracting men was never a problem for me, no matter what size I was. But
no, because they take anything with a pulse.
Easy.
Right, but you know what? But you know what? At the smaller that I was, the smaller that I was, the more the demographics opened for the men that were giving me attention. I remember when I was getting down to the single digit sizes, and let me show you guys. If you guys, you know what, my audience
pull out her pictures.
It's all
no, I'm really gonna show you guys. Look.
Wow.
Damn, Angie.
That's what I'm trying to say. So I've been every size from some plus size to smaller than Lydia. I mean, you guys see that gap. I'm not lying.
So what is that? A size 4? Size 2?
No, I'm 5'6", so that was probably like a size. This was probably like 160 pounds, but I know it looks much smaller.
Okay.
160 pounds. So that's what I am now. I'm 160, 65.
Yeah, but for me, I guess it looks different on everybody. I guess it has to do with bone structure and different things of that nature. Anyway, I was noticing as I was getting into the single digit sizes, Caucasian men started paying attention to me, and that was very new.
I was going to ask you that, but yeah,
that was very new for me. One day I was walking through Grand Central, and the businessmen with suits. I was always used to, you know, a certain, you know, level of guys. You know what I'm saying? Not to say it was bad or good, you know, like, but more so African American guys I've dated.
You're saying you had the hood when you was a little thicker.
I had the hood no matter what size I am.
She was thicker than a Snicker.
I'm still thicker than a Snicker. Listen, my waist
is okay.
My waist is not, but anyway, so yeah, it was different, Lydia and Kev. It was more so, you know, walking through Grand Central and the businessmen on Wall Street are looking at me. And I'm like, I'm looking behind me like, you looking at me? So yes, and I did notice that it was almost like the world is yours. Doors were just flying open based on my appearance. Guys were much friendlier. You know what I'm saying? As I started gaining weight again, I still had the attention from guys or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? And I still was able to, you know, date and different things of that nature. But I did notice the smaller that I was, the easier life was.
Angie, let me ask you a question on that. You make a very good point. So obviously when you was that size and you said you started getting different attention from different areas of gentlemen that wasn't your norm, did your attitude change? Did you find yourself where, like, you know, maybe it's a different clientele, so maybe instead of the you know, I'm going to just like the regular bar, I'm going to like Mr. Child's? I mean, did that change, or did your attitude change based off the type of attention and maybe places that you were starting to, you know, attract these individuals?
I'll tell you what changed in me. I didn't go outside of my normal, which is dating African American guys. I never dated a different race of guys when I got smaller. However, I did enjoy the attention that I was getting. The attention was good. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it just felt good to have that kind of glow up, because I was always the chubby girl. Like when I was young, I didn't grow into my shape until I was in my late 20s. Like a lot of women, they're in the best shape of their life in high school. And then you see them at 30 and it's like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really,
their babies.
Right. I didn't really glow up per se until I was almost 30. So it was like a lot. I was always like, you know, the chubby girl with the quote unquote pretty face. I was popular. I had a lot of friends, but the male, and I had male attention because I had a lot of guy friends, but this was a different kind of male attention. You understand what I'm saying? Like I never had problem getting guys before, but now it's a different caliber. It's different. So I did enjoy it. I'm not going to lie, but I'm here to tell you guys that it's true what Lydia says. the smaller you are, I do think there is a weight limit on the pretty there is a certain level of pretty privilege when you are a certain weight. That is the truth.
Let me ask Lydia a question. Now, Lydia, again, you're as much as I've obviously never met in person, but pictures and conversation. Again, you're a very intelligent woman, right? You know, you're a professional, you know, so you're more than just a pretty face and a smile. With that being said, okay, maybe the privilege does extend an olive branch longer than maybe others, but does that bother you because there will be certain people that will just see you for your aesthetic?
Yes.
Unpack that a little bit, Lydia, for us.
It does, because unless you get to know me, you will just look at me skin surface. Like, you won't see anything but my looks. And I feel, unfortunately, because of the world that we live in now, where everything has now been normalized to just be based on looks, to just be based on your appearance, or the type of designer that you wear, or the type of figure that you have, or anything to do with your aesthetics. Absolutely anything to do with your aesthetics. If it's not appealing to the eye, you are deemed as not enough.
Right.
You are deemed as just what is on your exterior. So for me, I get annoyed. Like, I get so annoyed and so irked when I'm trying to have conversations with people and all they do is see my appearance. And the first thing after they've had a conversation with me, they say, "Oh, we didn't think you were this smart. Oh, you're actually quite smart." Or these types of things. And I'm like, what do you mean you didn't think I was smart? So I can't be pretty and I can't be smart. It has to be either one or the other. Why can't I have both? Why
Absolutely.
do you see what I'm saying? So for me, it's always been, I've always had to try and prove myself.
Mm-hmm. Pretty, see, that's why I want to say, because pretty privilege, which this is about, could it almost be pretty, in a
pretty
negative
toxic
way? Right, exactly.
toxic.
Because what you just mentioned, Lydia, is very, very similar to what somebody might feel like. I'm an African American male. I work in a corporate environment. I've always had to be better or had to prove myself.
Right.
I never forget, it was a time working on Wall Street when somebody came to me and said, "Oh, wow, you're not really black." Why is that? Because I'm educated, I'm smart, and I'm wearing a suit, and I'm in the same. And again, he wasn't saying it because it wasn't a situation where he was saying it to be like, to be offensive.
Right.
It's just because of what he's experienced and what
The
his
ignorance.
views were. I wouldn't even call it ignorance, because he wasn't from New York. He was from he's from Nebraska.
That is ignorance, because you don't have experience with that
Right,
demographic.
But I can't call it ignorance if that's my background. It's just what I know. It came across ignorant, of course.
For him, on his side, yeah.
Right, but he didn't. But to his world, it was like black folks was running around,
ghetto, loud.
Right. So, and again, he, as he got better and more savvy to the New York culture, he apologized, but he didn't know better. So I couldn't blame him for that. But that's very similar to what you just mentioned from a pretty privileged perspective, where I know women that dumb themselves down because they don't want to just be seen as just, a
pretty face.
Doll. Yeah.
Right. And there is so many different levels of what people deal with when they are attractive. Like Lydia said, you have to work extra hard to prove to people that you have a brain. There's also a level of, I've experienced it, people sexualizing me because of the shape of my body. And also, I know that you've probably experienced this too, being sexualized all the time because of the shape of your body, but also for our complexion, our hair. And there's also another connotation. Light-skinned girls, or girls of, a certain a color, are bougie. They think they're better.
That exotic appearance.
Yeah, or just saying, just like, pretty girls having to fight. I remember, I grew up in the inner city of New York. I had to fight a lot because of my hair, or because of what I looked like. And it was more so like, yeah, cut her hair, just people being jealous, you know what I'm saying? Or people hating, so that's like I feel like that's another layer of pretty privilege that people don't speak about. Well, it's not privilege. I guess you can say the dark side of being pretty, or one of the struggles of being attractive.
When it comes to pretty privileged ladies, do you find it where you need to circle yourself around friends or colleagues that have similar struggles or have similar interests as you? Like just from my club days, it always kind of mind boggled me where it'd be like maybe 3-4 girls in a pack, and like 3 were like, they were on point, and it had that one like and that was almost like that young lady was the one that was trying to fit in, trying to I guess
keep up with the aesthetic,
pretty much keep up and try to but again, it didn't work because it just wasn't there. Do you guys find it, because I consider both of you ladies very beautiful, do
Thanks,
you guys
Kev.
find it? Oh, you're quite welcome. Do you guys find it where not even by trying, but the circle of friends kind of fit the same aesthetic and the same background? Like most people, again, as they become successful, they normally have friends and colleagues that are very similar in their world. Is that work in a pretty privileged situation where it's like, okay, we all look a certain way, we all go to the gym, we all cater to the same type of foods and restaurants? Your thoughts, ladies. Lydia, let's start with you.
You want to go first, Lydia?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that problem, and the reason that I don't even see it as like, oh, I've got that one friend who is, she's not keeping up appearances or anything like that. I don't even look at my friends like that. I don't even put myself in that type of mind frame to even look at my friend at one way or another. My friend is my friend,
right?
So for me, like, what kind of friend would I be?
Yep.
To look at my friend in a different way because she's not just as
attractive
as I am, or because she doesn't get that level of attention that I do or some of the other girls do. What kind of friend would I be?
Right.
Because I know at the end of the day, regardless of how, aesthetically pleasing I may be, I don't want to be everyone's cup of tea. I want to be someone's shot of whiskey.
Absolutely. Hello, wake it up.
I need a shot. I need a shot. It is Friday.
And I have to echo what Lydia says as well, because I've worked for a long time on Park Avenue at a plastic surgeon's place, and I've also worked in beauty for 5 years, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys have seen my Instagram. You saw, the reality shows that I was on. Well, I post clips sometimes, when I was in the plastic surgeon's office, when I was working there. I obviously got the job from my aesthetics. FYI, I be coming on here real regular, y'all. One day I'll probably stunt a little for y'all, but no. I realized, because originally I went for that job for the call center. But when the regional manager met me and I had my dress on and I had my makeup on and I had my hair done, the guy who was originally supposed to be promoted from the call center to the front, he got demoted back to the call center, and I was hired for the front because
pretty
of what
privilege.
He hated me for that for a really long time because he didn't get that promotion. So, I get it, but I've never lived my life like that. I have people that are friends of mine from all walks of life, from all races, from everywhere in the world. And even when I worked in beauty, I met some people who just wanted to be my friend because of how we would look in pictures together at certain nightclubs or certain parties. And when I see that type of behavior, I try to run from people like that, because you're not, hold on one second, Kev, because you're not going to get you're not going to get something genuine. You're going to get a person that wants to hang out with you for an Instagram photo op. Ooh, let's make plans to go to this dinner because all these baddies are going to look good in front of this, restaurant, and I could post it on my Instagram and get a lot of likes. I'm not interested in those type of friendships. I'm interested in something deeper.
Now, I understand what you both said, but what I'm trying to say, let's flip it for a minute, right? Now, Lydia, you come across as a young lady that, again, you like the finer things. I've been on some of your lives. So you're probably not running to McDonald's and Burger King as a night out, right? So you're not going to associate yourself with people or friends that, oh, let's go get something to eat. Let's go get a quick, let's go to Big Boy. You're in London. Things like that, because you have a certain style, you have a certain elegance that people will equate to who are similar in that situation. Same thing with you, Angie. I'm not saying you pick your friends that way, but we as people, we kind of gravitate human nature to people who are very similar in our background. Sometimes that can change as we elevate. Maybe we have friends and family or people we were close to when we were at one level, but it's just human nature that we kind of move that way.
I'll answer that question. I gravitate to people that want to win and love God. The only people I don't gravitate to is low vibrational people. So if you're a sex worker and a prostitute and you're about winning and you have an elevation of your mind, I'll link with you. Only people that I don't link with is low vibrational people that have nothing to lose, that's just out here, acting as though they don't respect themselves, acting crazy. I'm not into the low vibrations. But part of the reason why I am who I am and I love my my channel is Angie's World, right? And my motto is always, I want my space and who I am to be of people from all walks of life to come together and take their shoes off and be themselves. So you don't have to have a certain aesthetic. You have to have a certain mind frame to be in my world. You understand what I'm saying? But you can be from anywhere. You could be trans, you could be fat, you could be a midget. If you look at my friends from college, not a midget, I'm sorry, small person. We had people it looked like the United Nations. We had people of all colors. We even had a small person, and that was one of our friends. And she used to get her hair done. She used to get her clothes custom tailored. She would wear Nike Air Maxes. She had the doobie. She was fly. She was a small person. She's married with kids now. So it's not really a certain aesthetic that you have to fit. You have to fit a certain mind frame to mess with me. Go ahead, Lydia.
But with that being said, it's easy for you and I to give a low vibrational, high vibrational answer like that. It's very easy for us to do that because of where we are. However, let's look at these Instagram baddies.
Yeah.
Let's look at these Instagram baddies. These one size fits all type of women, where they are basically hand selecting based on aesthetics.
Right.
And the type of conversations that they're probably going to have are either about how to try and get the bag from a sugar daddy, or when are we next going to go and get that Louis Vuitton bag or some new Christian Louboutins? And if so, how are we going to go do that?
But do you know what? Whenever
and where we're going to go eat, let's go to Berry's on Sunset Boulevard.
But you know what? That's a good point, Lydia. But the Instagram baddies that you see that portray this image, it's just the image, because when you pull back the layers, the photo ops might be with other Instagram baddies. They might show them out to dinner at all the high-end places. They might show all the red bottoms in the bags. But when you start pulling the layers back, their best friends be regular girls. Look at Black China. You pull the layer back, her best friend is from the hood, this girl named Treasure that she grew up with, who's a regular girl. You pull back a lot of the layers on these Instagram girls and look beyond Instagram and look in their real life. They got degular girls as their best friends, because these are the girls that ride or die. You understand? They might put a certain image on Instagram, but in their real life, they got regular people holding them down.
But them ride or die girls ain't getting what the baddie getting.
That is true. What did Angela Yee say? Hoes be winning. She always say that. Hoes be winning.
This is why
hoes do be winning. I can't even lie to you. They do.
Word.
This is
But
why
the best friend is a ride or die, so she
that's what I'm missing. I'm just
Right.
not. I'm just not.
Yo,
You know.
but the hoe gets the hoe gets the bag, but the best friends, that's right. It's just like the hood dude. The hood dude get the bag, right? The rapper or whatever, but the shooters by his side, he gets the bag too. So the Instagram girls and the hoes, whatever you want to call, they go get the bag, but they home girls is getting that bread too because they benefiting from what the hoes is getting.
That's why there's a cap on it, because again, you know, it's always going to be somebody better. It's always going to be the next one. I mean, you know,
right.
Gravity has a way of doing things in time to, you know, appearance. So, like I said again, you know, if it's just like if you take the street approach, like you just mentioned, if you're going to take that street approach, you're not going to retire in a street approach. You know, Carlos Escobar didn't even retire. You know, El Chapo. You better take what you take and get it done now, and then move on to other things, because it doesn't last forever. And unfortunately, I think women who use their beauty as a weapon feel that it will always be there, and it's not always there. So again, I don't have any problem with somebody saying, hey, I'm attractive, and you know what? I use it to my advantage. You're supposed to. It's the way God put you and made you, wrapped you up. But you can't rely on that all the time. Similar to what we talked about, the Black China. You just mentioned her about the court case. I'm sure she believes that her pretty privilege can give her $300 million in a court case. It ain't happening. You know, it ain't happening. So that standpoint, when you think about it, has a shelf life. You get what you can get, and then you move on to other things. Similar to Kim K. We talked about Kim K.
Right.
Kim K is taking that, you know, the back shots from Ray J, made it into a career, but now is moving on to other things, lawyer and helping get people out of prison. So, well, that's how she got started.
Kev has a little. Sometimes Kev, when he could be sometimes tact might be not really sprinkled in the way Kev put things.
Let's just call a spade a spade.
Sometimes Kev could be a little too real with his vernacular.
We in Angie's world. Let's just keep it a rack. That's how they got started. There would be no Hulu or T. It would be none of that without that sex tape. Let's call it what it is.
Right, but you know it does sound a little vulgar to put it like that, but it's okay.
It's the truth.
I see. Okay, listen, y'all. I want to bring this up real quick. Well, we're at the 30-minute mark, so let me go ahead and do this little quick commercial once again, y'all. Follow Kev at 950Kev. Make sure you follow him on Instagram. I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to my girl, beautiful Greek goddess Lydia. All right? Make sure you follow Lydia at LE_MXOX. Their stuff will be in the description. Also, youtube.com/Angie's World, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Clubhouse. Shout out to everybody tapping in from everywhere. Welcome to Angie's World. I don't want to sound too promo because some people like to listen to the podcast on Spotify and Apple, so shout out to y'all too. I love y'all. Today we are talking about, I should have had Lydia do the reset, right? The reset queen. What we talk about, Lydia? Go ahead, do a reset.
No, you want me to do a reset?
Do a reset, Lydia. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, this is crazy. Hey, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Angie's World. Before we continue with this insane topic of Pretty Privilege Part 2, go ahead and follow your girl, Angie's World, in the top left-hand corner. She is the curator of Angie's World. You can also find her on Clubhouse. Follow Kev down below. Follow him on Clubhouse, on Instagram. 950Kev is his handle. Follow myself, LE_MXOX. I am Lydia, the Greek goddess, and also the Clubhouse reset queen. This is Angie's World. Let's go ahead and dive into Pretty Privilege Part 2.
Yes! She killed it! Yo, I'm telling y'all better listen. Lydia is the reset queen.
Coming to the States.
Yeah, so I was actually meant to come over next week. I had to cancel my flight.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got a lot of work on, so.
That's a hard-working person, so.
We love Lydia. We love Lydia. Listen.
I love you.
I love you so much. Listen, Okay, so while we talk about pretty privilege, before we move on to the next topic, I want to show y'all this picture, right? It goes back a little bit to what we were talking about in regards to size, right? So let's go to this picture I want to show y'all, right? Now, it was posted on the Shade Room, right? And it's a picture of Lizzo. She was boarding an airplane and she had chaps on with her butt exposed, right? So the person put, your size isn't the reason men won't date you. It's the level of class you have. For instance, let's compare Jill Scott to Lizzo. Men, which one would you date? Right? And it's a picture of Lizzo. You see the peach is covering her butt, but her butt is fully exposed. She's boarding a plane. And then you have a picture of Jill Scott fully, clothed at an award show. Now, my question to y'all is, do you think that Lizzo is punished for her skimpy clothes and being prepared, like being I guess compared class wise to Jill Scott, whereas the Instagram hotties or Rihanna, before she was pregnant, if she would wear something where she was naked underneath, do you think that the media is targeting Lizzo because she's plus size showing her butt, or do you think it's just fair all the way around? I guess we'll start with you, Lydia, and then we'll go to Kev.
I definitely think she's being targeted because of her size. And the reason that I say that is because I feel, and this is just based on my opinion, I feel like the reason that she may now wear all of these skimpy clothes is a way of rebelling from,
I agree.
it's a way of her rebelling away from all of these stigmas and all of these body shaming that society has thrown upon Lizzo. So the best way that she can go about negating away from it, or not taking in what society, communities, people, the media are saying, is by wearing the things that are deemed as inappropriate for her shape. So she's trying to do the things that they won't like,
Right.
in order to try and prove a point. And I feel like I've even done that. Like, even when I was like a little bit heavier and stuff, I'd still wear skimpy shit. Like, I'd still wear skimpy clothes and whatever. And I did it in a way of, not because it didn't fit, but
Right.
because you're trying to make me feel as if that I could never
Not
wear
do it.
something.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So
I
I
agree.
don't think, class has anything to do with it. It doesn't matter about class or skin or whatever.
Right.
Nothing. That shouldn't even come into play. But I feel like society has made her feel as if the best way for her to prove a point, stand on her shit, own her shit, is by doing the things that society don't like. So
I agree.
and most people do those things anyway.
She's pushing the envelope.
She's pushing the envelope. And most people do things that society doesn't like. If we continue to follow by society's norms, how are we ever gonna be us, be
Absolutely.
our authentic selves? So for her, I don't necessarily think it's got anything to do with class. I feel like it's her defense and her trying to prove a point.
Wow. I love that. What about, thank you, Lydia. What about you, Kev? What you think?
Well, I don't think it's a class thing. Again, we're talking about entertainer. We're talking about somebody who's in the public eye. So I don't have a problem from that per se. Now we take that to the normal individual, normal young lady, that may be a little heavier or in that realm. You have to look at it from that perspective. You're not walking into a corporate office with your thong out. It's, again, we have to notice there's time and place for everything. Now, in my opinion, and again, I'm just playing armchair quarterback. We don't know these people per se. It comes across with a lot of her antics, twerking out like a game and all these things that it from what it seems that there seems to be, and I don't know this to be true, but in my opinion, it seems to be some type of confidence issue, because the woman is super talented. She doesn't have to She doesn't have to put on some of the antics to, you know, get attention, because she's very talented at what she does. Now, again, her audience and the women maybe she's trying to reach will look at her and champion that. But again, it's not going to play well when you're walking around in that type of outfit if you're not Lizzo. She can get away with that. But I'm talking about again, a lot of times entertainers and celebrities put things out for their audience to inhale, and 90% of your audience can't pull it off like they can. You know, jump on the airplane. It doesn't play well. So I like to see, like, hey, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Show the confidence, but also have a disclaimer about it. You know, you can be confident clothed too. You can be sexy and beautiful with clothes on as well. You don't have to have that, because again, to her young audience, that to me doesn't set the right example, because her audience is not all mature adults like you ladies are that get it. You know, she's probably speaking to a lot of younger teens and high school and college kids that think it's kind of cool to walk to class in a thong. And I don't think that's so cool, personally.
Thanks, Kev, for your opinion. Me, I salute Lizzo to the top of the mountain. I think that what she is doing for plus size women is she's showing a lot of what I guess Hollywood, the media, entertainment has not seen before. She's the first of its kind, and I love that. I feel like we're moving in a direction to where plus size women shouldn't be held to the standards of being fully clothed if we're moving in a direction with celebrities and people in the media and just like, you know, just normal citizens. We're getting more naked and more naked by the day, right? So now we're at the point where you're going to the club and you're seeing sheer shirts with no bra and nipple rings, a la Rihanna. Or, you know, you're seeing, you know, the Instagram hotties with, you know, just sheer outfits on with, you know, just no undergarments, or just, you know, covering a little bit of the crotch and whatever. So we're moving in a direction where it's more risque. And even award shows like the Oscars and different things of that nature. If you look at the wardrobe, it's less and less clothes. So I love what Lizzo is doing. Because I think it's bigger than Lizzo. I think Lizzo is putting herself out there, but there is a whole slew of plus size women that are getting their confidence from what Lizzo is.
Thing?
I personally, Angela,
what would you tell to a 17-year-old young girl who was heavy like that said,
okay,
you know, I'm just saying, because you guys are
okay. So what would you listen? But here's the thing. Mm-hmm. Don't try to bring it there, Kev, because hold the same standards to Black China in them to a 17-year-old girl that you do to Lizzo.
Listen,
you want to bring it to teenagers, then we can speak about it. Okay. Right. If you want to talk about 17-year-olds and down for children, no, but our job is not to parent your children. Okay. They're going to see what they're going to see in the media. I remember being 8 years old and seeing Madonna naked like a virgin rolling around on the bed.
That didn't make that right either.
It doesn't make it.
I'm just saying.
It doesn't make it. Listen, I'm trying to make my point and uplift Lizzo right now in regards to an adult. We can unpack the children's stuff later. But what I'm saying is I salute Lizzo for what she's doing, right? Let me give Lizzo her flowers because I love what she's doing. Now, you want to talk about children. There was a song, if the rhythm feels good to you, baby, let me hear you say, baby. When I was younger, I used to want to hear that, but I wasn't allowed to listen to that. Madonna in the 80s, she was butt naked rolling around like a virgin. I wasn't allowed to watch that. So there were certain images that I couldn't watch, certain things I couldn't listen to. Parent your own kids. You understand what I'm saying? They could turn on the TV and see Lil Nas X in a thong shaking his BBL butt. He's an openly gay LGBTQIA plus person. There's trans people, like, you understand what I'm saying? So don't put it on the plus size girls. There's different communities out there doing what they do. None of it is for children. But at the same time, salute Lizzo because she's doing her thing for the BBWs. And by the way, she has a new show coming out for the BBWs. So you can't stop it. It's coming. Listen, no matter how skinny I get, y'all, I represent for the BBWs. I get this big, but I'm still a big girl inside. So I'm gonna salute Lizzo to the end. That's what I have to say. All right, y'all. So does anybody have any closing?
I just want to know what Kevin's gonna say after that.
Kids,
you can say whatever you want, Kev.
You're not gonna be comfortable on an airplane in a thong. Just let's call it like that. So that it is what it is.
That's probably a PJ. That's probably a PJ.
I'm just saying, again, it works for her, but she doesn't have to do that with her talent. I don't.
Neither does the Instagram baddies.
Hey, I hear you, but when I'm just trying to make a point that none of it is right. I'm just saying that I'm not saying about her size, but it ain't cute to tell an 18, 17, a teenager, college kid, hey, you know what? I'm gonna be like Lizzo. I'm gonna walk around in a thong.
Okay, so then you won't be like Rihanna either and walk around naked with a sheer slip over you, exposing your breasts with nipple rings in it and your ass crack.
Again,
even though I love Riri, I love Riri too.
It's all over sexualized because again, it's not about the artist, it's not about the talent, it's about the audience they're reaching to. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, again, you can give her flowers. I personally, if I keep it a stack, I'm not, it doesn't do anything for me. But it's again, I'm an adult. It's hard enough, and I know you're saying you don't teach your kids that in the media, but these kids have to go out. It's internet now. When you was a kid, Madonna didn't have 24/7 internet, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. These artists have that, and I'm not saying that's their problem. I'm just saying that it doesn't always, equal out that it's a great look for.
If we're gonna police the BBWs, we gotta police everybody else's outfit. We gotta police.
I agree. It's not about the BBWs. Just again, and she's a beautiful woman. She doesn't have to do. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't have to present yourself in that.
Neither do the skinny girls, and neither does the trans person in a thong shaking their butt.
We're not arguing that though, Angie. I'm not saying they're right. I'm saying that all of it is off.
Then that's a bigger conversation. That right there takes us into a whole other podcast because that's a good podcast. Like, how is that would be a conversation of how is the media molding our kids today? And then that conversation could take us into drill music, over sexualized hype, the music, the movies. I get what you're saying, Kev, too, because that could take us into a whole nother conversation. I'm just saying for the BBWs, I feel like I want to give her flowers because nobody before her has done that. And I've been a BBW.
She ain't the first big chick that done walked around half naked. So what you mean this? She didn't start that.
That may be the case. But you don't see many BBWs in today's world.
Yep.
Like the last time that the type of BBW that I used to remember seeing, Monique. Do you remember?
Yes,
Monique?
and she did the Beyonce dance.
You remember?
And she fought hard to be a skinny woman.
Listen. She
got healthy. No, don't say that, Kev.
She's still represented. Then you got like Ricky Lake, for example. She was also a BBW. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like those are the old school BBWs that you see. The ones that are
look at Lizzo's boyfriend. He's fine. Let's go, baby.
And he's loving her, like every bit of her. He's loving every bit of her. And then who is the girl that was in Pitch Perfect? What's her name? Pitch Perfect. The Australian woman.
Adele?
No, she's from the UK.
I love Adele.
From Pitch Perfect, that movie.
I'm gonna look it up.
The Australian actress. What's her name?
I'm gonna look it up, Lydia. Don't worry.
Well, she was fat.
She was the fat one. Yes, she was the fat.
We don't like to use the F word. We don't use that here.
I'm sorry.
She was heavy. All right.
Kev, we do not use that. Plus size.
She was the heavier one. The blonde one from Pitch Perfect.
Lydia knew what I meant. I said if I would have said heavy, he said, well, the fat one. Yeah, I got it.
Said it because you said the F word. I don't say that word.
You listen. You know what I mean, okay? Either way, you know what I mean. Her,
she's beautiful.
Yes, her. She's got skinny now. She's got skinny now.
She's pretty.
Yeah, she is. She is. She is. She's got a
Shout out to
skinnier.
all my BBWs. That's
like,
we
but
don't weight shame here.
But even
Nobody's
like,
weight shaming.
Not saying you are. I'm just
Oh,
saying in general. This
I
is
don't need your
Angie's
fans
world.
giving me hate mail. Go ahead.
This is Angie's world. Everybody's welcome. Go ahead, Lydia. I'm sorry.
but no, it's cool. But even like, look at her, like now, she's healthy now. Like she did what Monique did. She got healthy. So for I guess like for some women, like Lizzo is out here trying to prove a point. Lizzo is out here trying to prove a point.
And I'm here for it. And I also want to debunk the myth that if you are smaller, that equals healthy. Because I know people that are smaller than Lydia that are in the dentist constantly because their teeth are rotten from sugar, high cholesterol, high sugar content, that are extremely unhealthy on the inside.
Yeah.
And someone like Lizzo, who has proved that she works out every day, someone like me who has been every size, and even now, you know what I'm saying, on the heavier side, no diabetes, thank God, no cholesterol, I don't drink soda, I'm not constantly in the dentist for rotten teeth. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So if you are on the plus size, don't get me wrong, I've been smaller, so you do feel lighter on your feet and you do feel better, but being small doesn't always equal healthy. You also got to take care of yourself, because when I was smaller, I was exercising regularly and I was eating the right diet. So even if you're small, you got to eat the right diet too. So I kind of want to debunk that, because I know a lot of people who are slim that are, pretty rotten on the inside because they don't take care of themselves. So I just got to add that in too. And that's what Lizzo tries to prove too, because it's like, she exercises daily. She puts out that she doesn't have any problems, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. But people constantly say like, oh, they want to police her body. That's a whole other podcast about people policing women's body and inserting their opinion. Because even when I was losing weight, people felt the need to pull me to the side and say, that's enough. And then if I'm gaining weight, people put me to the side and say, that's enough. It's like, no one asked you.
But that goes back to the pretty privilege, because again, somebody at that size, are they in that same pretty privilege realm from what society gives off as beautiful?
Listen,
what you have to say? Go ahead, Lydia.
Listen, I remember. Okay, so my ex, who I was with up to most recently, when I was losing weight in lockdown, like I've put it all back on now. I can't even lie to you. I've put it all back on now, but I lost a lot of weight in lockdown. I got skinny AF. Like my bum went flat like a pancake and everything. Okay. I swear to you, but I was feeling myself. I was like, yes, like I'm losing weight. I'm like, yes, I feel good and all of this stuff. And then he goes to me, who are you trying to look good for? Like, slow down. I'm like, MF, slow down, because I'm doing this for me. And there's me thinking, yeah, I've got a good man by my side. He's supporting my pretty privilege. He's supporting the fact that I want to be skinny and whatever. Not knowing that he was like envious inside, like the fact that I'm out here doing what I'm doing. And then obviously, like, notice other people then making their comments.
Yep.
And a lot more people started making comments like, don't you think you're doing a bit too much? What's it got to do with you, what I'm doing?
Absolutely.
Like, mind your business. Just mind your business.
Yes.
Like,
I make that a point not to comment on people's appearances. I would try to stay away from that.
Unless for health reasons, okay, you've lost an extreme amount of weight. Okay,
yeah.
Then I will make a comment.
Right.
Where's the tough love comes in, ladies?
So for example, if you're a woman who's wanting to have a baby,
right,
okay, and you've lost an obscene amount of weight to the point where now you are now struggling to conceive,
right,
okay, and we are openly having a discussion about this together, woman to woman, I will tell you, babe, you need to put that weight back on. You need to be healthy. To a certain degree, you can make certain comments, but it's borderline. Like, there are levels to this shit. There are levels. You can't then turn around and be like, well, you know what, you're losing a bit way too much weight now here because you've decided to sit on your ass all day and eat chocolates and cookies,
Right.
and you don't want to get up and do anything about it.
Right.
That you're stopping my growth from growing.
And vice versa. If we have people or friends in our corner, we cannot be afraid to tell somebody, listen, I'll tell somebody in a minute if they're gaining weight. Sometimes you need tough love. You're fat. Let's be real about it. I'm sorry. I don't mean it to be disrespectful. Yeah, but you know what, Lydia? Sometimes you got to just spit it to some folks. Sometimes somebody look in the mirror for themselves and they'll be clouded. Then they'll ask you your opinion. Now, I'm the type of person, no matter if it's business, personal, do not ask for my opinion if you cannot accept my answers. It's never to be disrespectful, but sometimes you need a slap in the face.
But sometimes people don't. That's the problem.
No one asks about me. I'm talking about
no. I know, but that's what Lydia's trying to say. Sometimes people, and that's what I was trying to say, they don't wait for an opinion. They just pull you to the side and insert themselves in your life.
Well, that again, a lot of that has to do with jealousy. Sometimes people get, hey, you're losing weight, or you drive a nice car. Why you got that car? So people have their own issues. But I'm saying from a standpoint, we're talking about the pretty privileged. We're like, hey. We mentioned the Lizzo thing. Now we all saying y'all saying Lizzo's healthy, God bless her. But if it's a big girl who I know, who I have love and care for, and she's I'm doing it like Lizzo, but that you're eating the cookies and the cakes, and your cholesterol is at an unsafe level, then I'm gonna let you know that you need to make some changes. A lot of people
if a skinny person, because I have friends that are way smaller than me that are Lydia's size that have high cholesterol because they eat McDonald's drive-through every day. They eat so much sugar, they're constantly in the dentist because their teeth are rotten, and they have high sugar and they're Lydia's size.
Yeah. And again, like I said, that it doesn't have a cap on it. But I think, again, as a society, we've gotten so PG. Some of it is needed, but sometimes we just got to have a little tough love for the ones that are in our circle. Like if something was going on with my brother or a friend or something, I'm going to be real with you. Like, yo, bro, you got a problem. Like if you got a tooth missing, oh, that's cute. No, it ain't cute. You got a rotten tooth. Get it fixed. It's nothing wrong with being upfront with folks as long as it's receptive. Again, I mean,
that's why I said that there are levels to it. That's why I said that there are levels to it. And that's why I gave the example of a woman who's trying to conceive and she can't conceive because she's now gone down to an unhealthy weight.
Right.
So, and I agree with you to a certain degree. You can say things to some people, but if someone is just doing them, like they're not, they're looking healthier, they've trimmed down, they're trying to improve, and they want to keep improving, or they want to just keep on maintaining or whatever, they're going to do what they're going to do. And especially for us big girls, we have to do 10 times more work than the average skinny bitty Betty who's already got her shit together because she's got no fat on her. We've got to do 10 times more work than her, than, Karen from down the street. We've got to do more work than her to keep the weight off and to keep going hard in the gym and to watch what we're eating and stuff like that. We have to do it because Karen, she's going to get into the club on Friday night in that hideous blue dress with those hideous blue heels. She's going to get into the club. Whereas us big girls, we might have to wait a little bit outside.
Right.
Because we're not as skinny as Karen.
But I don't see you ladies as big girls. You guys are what people look at. I mean, again, those skinny minis, that's not the norm.
But you don't see that as us being, big girls, but we mentally do, because that's how we look at ourselves every
But why do you look at yourself that way?
But it's body dysmorphia. It is body dysmorphia.
Which we both have.
My weight has fluctuated from years and years. Okay, I've gone from
with me,
being skinny to very big, and then big to skinny, and then curvy, and now I'm just in between. Okay, but I've always been curvy. I've always had big boobs and a big ass and what. I've always had that, but it's just sometimes it's one extreme, next is completely different equilibrium that we're on.
Right. And
So
that's the thing that people don't understand that Lydia's trying to say, because you're looking at Lydia now and you're saying, I can't picture you like this. Same way people will look at me now and say they can't picture me stick thin, like I just said. But when I was stick thin, they said I can't picture you big. When you fluctuate like that, there is a body dysmorphia that you go through.
Yeah, I need to find a picture, because
no matter how skinny I got, this picture that I showed you guys, I had a jacket on because I thought I looked fat. And now look at this picture again. I thought I had a jacket on because I thought I looked humongous. My arms were fat. Everything was fat. And do you see how small? That's body dysmorphia.
Let me just this is gonna like shock you guys. Hold on.
I'm getting an education here from you ladies, because I don't, when I think about like the word BBW, you two would not be in the dictionary.
Look how skinny I got.
That was pandemic.
This was pandemic. That's very skinny for me. And like, look at my face even here. Okay. My face.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. It definitely is a thing, Kev. And when people insert themselves and pull you to the side, like most of the time, while she's looking for that, I'll talk. Most of the time, if I see a friend of mine putting on an unhealthy amount of weight or drinking too much or doing anything excessively, I try to get behind the scenes and see what's going on in their life instead of addressing their appearance. You know what I'm saying? Because that could kind of trigger someone if they have an eating disorder, if they have any type of issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what people are insensitive to. They think they could comment on your appearance. You're losing too much weight. You're gaining too much weight. You got such a pretty face. If only you lost too much, or you're getting too skinny. I heard it all under the sun. You can't have a career unless you lose it. It's crazy. And it puts a psychological thing in women's heads, which is why I think that me and Lydia has spoke about this before, which is why I think that the plastic surgery and you know what? I guess I'll break this exclusive on here. I'm working hard, y'all, to get an interview with a plastic surgeon that I worked with previously. I want to get him on my podcast, even if I just have him on audio, because I want to talk to him about this whole epidemic that's going on in plastics right now. And he's a really good friend of mine. Even after I left the plastic surgery center, we still keep in contact. And I feel like he has a lot to add, a lot of value to add to this topic. But it turns into this like whole psychological thing with people, you know? Absolutely. But go ahead, Lydia. I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, it's okay. Look at my face here. Like, it was just so
different. Yeah. You could see, like, yeah.
Very, very like,
yeah.
Very, well, Lily, yeah. I gotta say this. You're a beautiful woman at any size.
Yes.
Same with you, Angie. So
thank you.
If anybody's making you feel that way, that's their issue. That ain't y'all issue.
Thanks, Kev.
And that's what I'm saying, though. That's society's issue as well. It's like those who get involved in what other people are doing, weight or whatever. Just mind your business.
Please.
And I've always said, like, God knows how many times I have said this. I've even said this to my family as well. Unless it is in your home and your four walls, mind your business.
Right.
Because whatever is happening outside is not paying your bills, and it should not make you lose sleep at night. Unless it's in your four walls, then say something. If it's not, keep it moving.
Absolutely. Real quick, what do you guys think? Me and Lydia spoke about this briefly in part 1. Oh, I could get this Jill Scott and Lizzo comparison out of here. Shout out to Lizzo and Jill Scott. They're both very different women.
You love Lizzo.
She loves.
I do. Lizzo's dope, but Oh, and I was just scrolling through Shade Room and I see that Angie Martinez just recently did an interview with Lizzo, and I gotta catch that because I shout out to Angie Martinez. I love her. But let me get this Jill Scott Lizzo topic out of here. Let's go back into what we were originally talking about. Me and I was gonna say me and Lizzo, me and Lydia. We were recently talking about this, and I want your opinion on this, Kev. And I mean, I guess we can talk about this as far as men too. There's like a new surge of men getting liposuction, like Kanye West, and the hair transplants, like Safari, the hairline transplants, right? The 6-pack, like Safari, the hairline transplant, like Tory Lanez and Safari, and various levels. What do you guys think of this new surge of striving for perfection cosmetically, especially in men, Kev, with the hair transplants and the lipo? Do you feel any pressure to do any of those things?
Well, me personally, no.
And the fake teeth and stuff like that.
Me personally, no. But I think again,
we live on the fake teeth.
No,
listen, it looks good. I'm not saying it don't.
These are mine. So I was born with these. I was 5. They came the last time I lost a tooth from the tooth fairy. But I think it's such a pressure with society to look good, to be beautiful. Again, technology with social media, and the more access you have to people, we all want this image. Again, we notice it on social media where somebody shows their Instagram pics and they're making $3 million a year, and then in reality they're making about $3 a year. So again, we live in this world, this think tank where everybody wants to be beautiful, and men have taken that approach. Have the liposuction. You mentioned the hair. Getting. Yeah, I even know a couple guys that I know personally that got something with their legs. Too.
Sorry.
But yeah, but their legs, their calf muscles, they wanted bigger calf muscles. So we live in, the more technologies out here, the more accessibility to do things, to try to recreate ourselves. It's unhealthy, and again, it shows the kind of I think the way people feel about themselves. And if again, like I listen, over the last 2 years, I've lost over 50 pounds. It was more of a health thing. It had nothing to do with vanity. When you get sick and the doctor tell you, well, look, you're a nice guy, but if you don't make some changes, you ain't going to be here. So right. I take it. So just like you're sensitive to certain things, I'm sensitive to people with their health, because again, right. I think again, we're bamboozled with the image. And just because you go to a plastic surgeon or you get some enhancements doesn't make you healthy. And I think that's the key, that we're not healthy as not just a country, but as a global society. We're so caught up with image. So yeah, men are affected as well. And I think again, what's happening is that people are waking up, and we all age, we all gain weight here or there, and people are not happy with themselves. And that's a sad situation for the world to be in.
I agree on that. Do you have anything to say, Lydia? I'm sorry, before I say something.
You go ahead.
Definitely. I think that I agree with social media. There's a certain level, the face tuning, the body, enhancing, and different things of that nature. It's like that strive for perfection, and it could psychologically screw people's minds up, because you go online and you think a person looks a certain way or has a certain type of lifestyle, and you start getting down on yourself and thinking that you're not good enough and your lifestyle is not great. And I feel like it is a certain level of brainwashing, but I feel like the generation before the social media generation had the magazines. So the magazines were airbrushed the same way these pictures are face tuned. Like we looked at magazines and we thought, it was what it was, but it wasn't true. And I feel like Tyra Banks, she was one of the first supermodels to really come out and expose a lot of the secrets of what the magazine industry was doing, how she would stand certain ways to create a gap, in her legs, or how certain things were airbrushed. And, shout out to Tyra Banks, because she kind of pulled that curtain back. She was like one of the pioneers of pulling that curtain back. So, I always say on this podcast, I want to uplift, empower, and inspire people, and just know, you're doing great, sweetie. Like Kris Jenner says, don't, as long as, you have a roof over your head, you have people in your life that love you, you know what I'm saying? And you're a good person, you winning in life. You don't need no bags and red bottoms, because at the end of the day, or you don't need to have a size 2 waist, because at the end of the day, you see how many people is coming with all of these shows that they're getting all this plastic surgery, and then they're ending up in the hospital, like K. Michelle and all these other people. So
Kanye's mother died because of that.
So sorry to cut you off there, Kev. And then not even just that, at the end as well, they end up wanting to look like us.
Yeah.
So they go through all of the mental and emotional trauma that they put themselves through.
Right.
To, nip and tuck themselves mentally, because that's what you're doing. You're nip and tucking yourself mentally. You're nip and tucking yourself emotionally.
Right.
You're looking at absolutely everything that's wrong with you.
Right.
But never what's actually right.
Right.
And then in the end, look at the girls who go and get their BBLs and whatever, and the thick thighs and all of these different types of things. All of these skinny minis or whatever are now wanting to look like us girls who we have it, but we've also got body dysmorphia because we want to be the complete opposite. And the ones who are the complete opposite want to be where we're at.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's like, if we look at pretty privilege on the grand scheme of things, is anyone really winning with pretty privilege?
That's true.
Nobody's winning with pretty privilege. Not one person is.
No utopia.
There's no utopia. That's right. Because we're striving for this perfection, but even when you think you're perfect, that perfect will never be enough, because you're going to find something else.
Right.
It's like there have been so many times where I have said to myself, I'm going to go get surgery. I'm tired of this shit. Like, my stomach is not going anywhere. Like, my body fat is just holding. It's not shifting. Like, I'm doing my diet. I'm going to the gym. Like, what am I doing wrong? I don't know what it is. And I've said so many times, I'm going to go and get surgery. And I still haven't gone. Because
you don't need it, Lydia.
Because going to the gym makes me happy.
Right.
And that feeling,
those endorphins,
those endorphins that I get when I go to the gym for even doing just a little bit of exercise to at least try and move what I want to move,
right,
is a feeling that I can't get from being on an operating table.
Absolutely. So it's tackling the mental part of it.
It's actually almost more mental than physical, because again, your weight's going to fluctuate regardless, but the mental part that working out, I run 4 days a week. So I know that same feeling of just like that exertion of, sweat and exertion from like doing that. I can't start my business day without it. And it's almost becomes a drug, a good drug. So again, I salute you for that, because that will take you through. We all get older. We're going to get a little bigger here, a little smaller there. It's a process. But what you have in place is something that can never take away from you, because again, you can have the operation. If you have the bad habits, it's going to come back anyway.
And that's the thing. If you have the operation and you continue the bad habits, then you're not mentally healthy. So like, even for me, I was going to say, no matter how small I got, your problems never really go away. And you're still going to get stuff in life that's thrown at you. So if you don't have the tools of eating right, exercising, and dealing with yourself mentally, I don't care how bomb you look. I don't care what doors are open, how much money you could make. I don't care if you get skinny and you make the most money that you have ever made in your life because you look bomb and you look like Jessica Rabbit. If you're not right here, your life is going to be miserable, because that's one thing I did notice from being 100 pounds smaller, 100 pounds bigger, anywhere in between. Life is still going to continue to throw SHI at you. So you got to have it in here. So, all right, guys, I want to shift the conversation a little bit. I feel like we've unpacked pretty privilege pretty well, unless you guys have anything to add.
Doesn't seem so much of a privilege, does it, after we broke it down?
Listen, we broke it down for the people. We spitting wisdom and gems here for the people. Come on now. But before we get up out of here, I wanna touch on just a few hot topics that's going on. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna shift it over to pop culture a little bit. Speaking of pretty privilege, I know myself and Kev has spoke about this whole situation. Are you, Lydia? She's pretty much aware of everything that's happening in the States and all the pop culture news and everything. Have you seen like Black China and Rob Kardashian? Black China is suing the Kardashians and they're having their trial now. What is your opinion on everything? Do you think it's a cash grab? What you think about this?
She got money, okay. She knows what she's doing, okay. She's got money. She's not stupid, okay. She's a very, very smart and savvy woman when it comes to money. You have to bear in mind, where the fuck did she come from, okay? Look at her history. She was a stripper, okay. Blac Chyna was a stripper. Strippers know how to get money. Look at Cardi B. Cardi B was also a stripper. She knows how to get money. If we're also going to talk about Kim K here, Kim K, she sold her soul to the devil when she made that sex tape, okay? We don't know who released the video. You know who released that video, bitch. You know who released that video. You got money, okay? So we can't say that Blac Chyna ain't got no money. She got money. She gets money from Tiger. She also gets money from Rob. There is no way in hell that the Kardashians or Kris Jenner is not gonna make Rob pay what he needs to pay in order for that child to live. That child is a Kardashian through and through.
Did y'all see that it just came out today that Blac Chyna hasn't paid her taxes in 5 years and she's claiming not to have a bank account?
She's
after
got
making
money.
$1 million on OnlyFans.
Right, that she made $2 million.
Didn't she just sell her Lambo and her Bentley? What the fuck is she talking about?
That's what she's saying at court.
That's what happens.
You don't have a bank account, so how do you have a Lambo and a Bentley?
Exactly.
That's what happens when you go to court. All your business gets put out. So she's trying to go to court to get $300 million. She's gonna have the IRS on her ass. So,
but that's what I said. I said, how you gonna not pay your taxes as a public figure for 5 years when you're making money in front of the world? You ain't low. How you gonna hide from the IRS? You a public figure. You're making money in front of us. So obviously they're gonna be looking for you, girl. What are you doing? Pay your taxes.
That's why the IRS now doesn't blame your accountant when your taxes are faulty. They blame you as the individual who hired the accountant. It used to be you can get away with that. Well, my accountant handles that. Well, you're the one signing. So good luck.
My thing is this. Any job that you get that you have to fill out a W-2 for, you have to pay taxes on. OnlyFans gives you a tax form. They send it to you. You gotta pay taxes off that money.
Yeah, 1099.
They give you a 1099. I'm sorry, not a W-2. Any place that you get a 1099 form, you gotta pay taxes on. So when you sign up for OnlyFans, they gonna give you your what is it they take? I think OnlyFans gives you 80, takes 20, or they give you 90 and they take 10 or something like that.
I think it's 80-20. They take
so it's 80-20. You get that full 80, but you also get a 1099. That's your responsibility.
Well, again, I guess she thought pretty privileged because I can take somebody to court for $300 million, not pay my taxes, and it won't really matter. So that's the one thing about people going to court. If you go to court, you better have your ducks in a row because everything comes out and it's public.
Right. Yeah, Blac Chyna is going out bad with that, man.
She's gonna be like James Brown. She's gonna be she's gonna really be broke after the IRS get rid of you because they come hard. They don't care about leaving you no money.
They want their cut. They want their cut.
And they're gonna get it.
Absolutely. I wanted to show y'all this real quick. Tell me your thoughts on this. It's coming up. It's taking a little while. Okay, here we go. Diddy to executive produce and host the 2022 Billboard Awards. How do y'all feel about that? Kev, we'll go first with you.
Well, again, whether you like Diddy's music or the way he's handled his business with some of his artists, as a professional, as a entrepreneur, as a an icon, he's about his business and he makes things happen. And for a guy who really hasn't been relevant in the music game for maybe 2 decades, he still has a foot in it. He's still relevant. And He's really good at it. So I think again, if Diddy's hosting the show, it'll be a great show. I think what we've seen with award shows since the Will Smith infamous smack, that people are now looking at these things a little different. You know, everybody's looking now for the car wreck, but I think Diddy, if you ever been to a old Bad Boy show, or you know, you've seen him perform, he knows how to put on a show. So it should bring a lot of excitement to the Billboard Awards.
Yeah,
I love that.
Agree. I'll definitely agree. I think it's actually going to be a really good show. Him hosting it. Again, you know, he's not really been around, but you know, in that time, he's also been getting his ducks in a row. He's also been doing things in the background. Like, he's not. Diddy is a very, very smart, savvy businessman, and I think it's like, look at the Super Bowl when we had Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent, and Snoop Dogg,
Jay-Z did that.
Mary J. Blige.
Jay-Z did that.
All on one stage, like, and we've never seen that level of legendary come to stage in one place for just like 45 minutes or wherever. We've never seen that before.
Shout out to Jay-Z, because he is the creative director for the Super Bowl.
He was the mastermind. So it's like, yeah, I think Diddy hosting the billboards, I'm here for it.
I think it's a huge win for hip hop. I think it's a huge win for hip hop and R&B and our genre of music, because Diddy said, he made a video. He's like, I'm the puppet master. I'm the, I got this go. I'm EPing this thing. I'm executive producing it. I'm hosting it. It's going to go down. And he's like, y'all know what a Diddy party is. So everybody get excited for that. But, so, I think we had a great conversation today, guys. I think, I don't want to keep Lydia here all night, because it's probably like almost midnight where she's at right now.
Late in the UK, baby. Late in the UK.
Yes, I lost Lydia for a second. Oh my goodness, my love. Where did you go? I don't know where Lydia went, but I think today was a great conversation. You know what I'm saying? Let me see where Lydia's at, because I don't want to close out the show without her.
No, we can't close out without Lydia.
Definitely. Oh, okay.
Shout out to her calling from London, UK area on a Friday night. I'm sure she could have done a million other things.
Yes.
She chose to spend it with us. So that's a beautiful thing.
Okay, so Lydia says her battery, that her phone cut out. I'm sorry, that her battery was low on her laptop and it basically like cut out. So I'm waiting to see if she wants us to wait for her. Let's see what she's saying over here. Because we could wait for her. Let's see what she says, if it's going to take a minute.
Well, she'll probably have to get the plug.
Absolutely.
She was sipping
she said, bit. You know what? She left her charger in the office. It's all good, baby. Listen, we up out of here. Before we get out of here, thank you so much to Lydia, who's tapping in all the way from the UK. Let me go ahead and show her information. Y'all make sure y'all follow her at LE_MXOX. She got her clubhouse popping. She does Lydia's Lounge. All her stuff will be in the description. Make sure y'all follow Kev at 950 Kev, and also catch him on the A-List After Dark. Anything you want to plug, Kev, before we get up out of here?
Nah, not at all. Obviously, again, catch my morning show every weekday morning from 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern. The 950 Lounge Show. You can hear it all over here in the U.S., in Canada, Europe, what have you. You can go to BackstageRadio.com, or you can listen on Rough Riders Radio. Again, Rough Riders, salute the Rough Riders team. So again, like I said, just happy to rock with you, Angie. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining me, Kev.
We're starting to get combative, but that's because we're getting familiar and comfortable with each other, which is always a great thing.
But that's okay. That's just conversations,
and that's supposed to be that way.
I'm very passionate about certain subjects. I could get a little bit, passionate about it, or quote unquote aggressive, whatever. But it's all love.
I love your passion. I love your passion, and it's all.
Thank you so much, Kev. And as usual, Guys, you can find me at All Things Angie's World 1, youtube.com/Angie's World. All my stuff will be in the description. Shout out to Spotify, Apple, anywhere that you listen to your podcast, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. I always say this, you know what I'm saying? I think we had a great conversation today with Lydia. I'm so happy we were able to get her to tap in all the way from London. Thank you for being here, Lydia. Thank you for being here, Kev. And like I say to everybody, you guys could be anywhere in the world, but you decided to be in Angie's World. And for that, I love you. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I will see you all soon. It's Angie's World Podcast. My name is Angie's World. That's Kev. That's Lydia. And we out, y'all.